let's make Korean BBQ chicken with risotto. First, for the chicken, you want to take your chicken breasts and put them on a lined baking sheet, and then set your oven to 400 degrees convection. And then you're gonna want to make sure that there's enough room between each chicken breast, this way they don't like touch each other, and you don't want like all their juices. So don't make sure you like limit the amount that you put on a tray. Don't like cram the tray. So then you want to drizzle it with olive oil, and then I'm gonna put some kosher salt on them. And then after that, I'm gonna put some Korean barbecue seasoning on it. And then I take a pastry brush and I just massage the seasoning and the oil into the chicken breast. So now I'm going to stick the chicken into a 400 degree oven that's been preheated for about 20 minutes. That's all going to depend on how big your chicken breasts are, so don't go by mine, just go by what you think would work. Now for the risotto, you want to take 2 medium onions and dice them up kind of fine. It's important not to, when you're dicing them up, not to cut all the way through them when you're doing the slits, both horizontal and vertically, because you don't want your onion to fall apart on you as you're trying to dice it up. And then afterwards, then you'll go and dice up that little chunk that doesn't have anything left in it. And then you're going to want to mince up 2 cloves of garlic. You can just use like the garlic paste at a grocery store, or the already like chopped up garlic that's in a jar, but I choose fresh garlic because I don't buy any of that stuff. Into an electric pressure cooker, you want to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and then you want to hit it to sear on high, and then you want to let the oil come and shimmer to heat up, and then you want to drop in your onion and then cook that till it's soft. And then you want to then add your garlic in and then cook that for like 1 minute until it like kind of like toasts itself and becomes more mellow and less harsh. Then comes the important part where you add your rice, and you want to add it in now before you add any extra liquid, because you want to toast them and like kind of like get it started to absorb some of that fat. This way, like, your result of the risotto will be like creamy consistency. And so you just want to toast that for a little bit until it kind of becomes like fragrant. And then after you toast it for a little bit, you're gonna want to deglaze the bottom of your pan with some wine. I chose white cooking wine because that's what I had on hand. And if you use cooking wine, make sure you cut back on the amount of salt that you put in it, because cooking wine has salt added to it already. So you don't want your final product to be really salty. So then you just add your half cup of your wine of choice. And then you want to add in 2 cups of chicken broth, and then you want to stir that, and then it'll start to kind of like thicken up on you and cook. That is completely normal. And then you want to add your half a teaspoon of dried thyme, and then you kind of want to just give that a little stir. And then afterwards, you're going to put your Instant Pot to sealing with the lid on it, to sealing, high pressure for 5 minutes, and then release the steam afterwards. So the chicken is done for 20 minutes. So then you want to take some barbecue sauce, whatever kind you want to choose, and you just put it on top, and then take a pastry brush again and just brush it onto it, and then put it in the back. Put it back in the oven until your risotto is done, and then the barbecue sauce will kind of get like dried, and it like becomes kind of like chewy, which sounds gross, but it's actually very good. So at this point, I let out the steam from the pressure cooker, and now I'm adding 1 tablespoon, or 2 tablespoons actually, of butter, and then you want to let that melt, and then that's gonna like help create like the velvety like sauce that it is, even though it's really just like the starch. So then you want to add, after it like completely melts, you want to add a 1/4 cup grated Parmesan cheese. You might want to use like fresh Parmesan cheese that you use like a microplane for, but if not, you can use the grated stuff that comes in a jar. And then with some like electric pressure cookers, the heat from it, you might need to turn it to sear just to add extra heat to help make the sauce, because you might have too much liquid left over. So then you just want to turn it to sear to help evaporate the liquid and create that like creamy cheese sauce. Since the risotto's done, now you just want to pull your chicken out of the oven and let it sit for a little bit, and then you want to go and start cutting it up into pieces. I like to cut mine up on a bias, which is like on a slant, like diagonally, and then also like when you're holding your knife on a slant as well, so it's not perfectly straight. And then you just want to cut that, and then afterwards you want to get a bowl of risotto, and then just place your chicken strips right on top, and then you're pretty much done. Just gotta get a fork and start eating it. is all that I have for you today. Until next time.